So what's up, y'all? We back again. Wanted to do a little update. There was something that I did in my book where I made I was talking about foundational blacks, freedmen, the descendants of the slaves, descendants of American slaves, about in terms of, well, we already know who built the country, which was us. We were the sole founders. We created the foundation of this wealth, of this superpower of America, from inventions to pretty much everything. Thousands and thousands of patents and inventions, stolen patents, all of that. And I made a term in terms of black folks being aboriginal to the land. Now, there's been a thing about this. You had people like Ivan Van Sertima. I know John Henry Clark had said some things. These are notable people. And I'm not an archaeologist, so I wanted to provide some updates as to where I had got this information. And footnotes, if you go to my website, I made some corrections. I heard some dudes online that was basically trying to make my second book as, come across like I'm plebiscite babbling or something. And I do believe that there was black folks here that were here at some point before Columbus, because as far as I know the Columbus's diary, that there was Moors that brought him over here. He didn't really know where he was going. But until we have more archaeological findings and stuff like that, I wouldn't say myself I would have the concrete proof. You see, now there was something I found out in these footnotes where it was talking about a clear indicator of pre-Columbian African transatlantic travel is the recent archaeological findings of narcotics native to American ancient Egyptian mummies. So how would you have mummies, and how would you have findings of cocaine and nicotine in ancient Egyptian mummies when these substances are known to only be derived by American plants? South American cocaine from the era Xylon coca and nicotine from Nicotiana tabacum. Such compounds could only have been introduced in ancient Egyptian culture through trade with Americans. Now, for people to say that it's impossible that black folks were not here before Columbus would say that you would have to limit voyage and conquest to just Africa itself. We know now the idea when people say that we don't have any African DNA and genetic, that's not true. Everybody started off in Africa. We have that. So you can't say that you never had any people from Africa. No. The beginning of time, civilization did start there. So you have ancestors from there. Now, if black folks came over here at some point in time, because we were all around the damn world, to be honest, we weren't just in one place. So that begs the other question: when you have people like Woutenhow, who fought against the normal dominant society, didn't want him to put this out, which he went into these wealthy places. Now, this is pre-Columbian Central and South America, where he found Negroid features. This is like a $600 book. I'm not just holding this up just to, this ain't something cheap that you just come across like that. Now, there's been a lot of other white archaeologists that have said the same thing. So either they're lying and I'm plebiscite babbling and just making it up completely that there was no black folks ever and it's impossible for it to happen. Well, then if you say that now, then you have to say, well, black history is only relegated to this or that. They weren't able to do that. They weren't smart enough. And that's a normal thing that they say what black folks couldn't do. Just like when they say, well, hey, you Negroes didn't create nothing. You didn't build America. You didn't create all these inventions. You didn't make the doorknob and all this kind of stuff. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We sure did. Anything that's cool or hip, ragtime, like with Scott Joplin, from ragtime, country music, R&B, all of that started here by the freedmen, solely by the freedmen. And there might have been a couple other people around that might have participated and watched, but we were the ones that did all the heavy lifting and we created all of that stuff. So there's a video that I'm going to play, something that I saw, and this is another archaeologist that said the same thing as Woot now. He said the same thing, and they did some extensive research. So I'm gonna put that up. So some of them dudes that might have got a hold of the second book, that would be trying to say that I'm plebiscite babbling. Are the scientists lying? Are these archaeologists lying too? So, you know, but like I say, I'm not an archaeologist. You know, there has been some people that have said that the Ivan Van Sertima wasn't, you know, inaccurate and this, that, and the third. But there's about 10 to 15 different archaeologists that was like, when we came over here and seen some of these Negroes, they look like Ethiopians, black folk. They used to call everybody black Ethiopian. You know, but are they lying too? That's the bigger question. Is everybody lying too? Are these folks from the dominant society that fought back against the normal status quo and said, hey, when I showed up on these shores, these some Negroes in the 1500s and the 1600s and stuff like that. Okay, well, how did that happen? Somebody had to be coming over here trading and doing something. So, you know, I just want to put that out there, you know, and give a correction. And I put the sources up there too. So I'm not, you know, one of these Negroes are saying, man, we don't got no African blood. You know, can't do that now. You know, you can't do that. But we know that when we were brought over here, if there wasn't any of us here, if we were brought over here, we were pretty much stripped of everything. We had to be a new nigga. You know, they didn't want us carrying any African tradition. We had to create everything. Tut language, we had to create everything. Now the only people that might have kept something is maybe like the Gullah Geechee and whatnot, but you know, we had to. We pretty much created our own entire culture, completely separate, you know. And of course there were stories that, you know, and I don't know how accurate Roots was, but as accurate as we could get, you know, they tried to strip us of everything. So we had to be a new Negro. That's why if you look at Roots and Fiddler, he didn't know nothing. He's like, Africa, he don't know nothing about that. He probably had 3-4 generations, never seen it. Didn't have no stories. Kunta was like, hey, you know, I want to go back home. And Fiddler, he's looking like, shit, nigga, I'm a field hand. I'm a black American nigga. I'm going to be a field hand the rest of my damn life. I don't want to hear about this free shit. What you talking about, free guinea man? That's how Fiddler was thinking. You see what I'm saying? Because he was brainwashed into thinking, man, shit, I'm not, there's no such thing as freedom. Fiddler didn't know that it was probably gonna be some Nat Turners and stuff, and some John Browns coming through to you know, these revolts, Louisiana revolts and everything. Yeah, you gonna be free. Somebody gonna get that belt and you gonna be free. But Fiddler, you know, in his mind, he was like, man, just give me some corn whiskey and some fine clothes and I'm good. You know, it's too old. Like he said, I'm too old and it's too cold. So just want to clear that up, you know, so I'm not, I don't get put into the box of saying that, you know, we don't have any African DNA or no answers. No, our heritage is foundational. Black American. That's our heritage. Our heritage for the past 400-500 years. That's our heritage. But we definitely have African DNA. No, we can't deny that. But you know, even that DNA thing sometimes, because people moved around so much, tribes and names of countries, they've changed and stuff. Like Nigeria is like only about 100-something years old. You see what I'm saying? So like, what was it before that? Before some white lady came and said, hey, this is some Nigerian, these are some Negroes. What was it before that? What family can you trace yourself back? You see what I'm saying? So something to think about, you know. We know that a lot of our folks, 9 times out of 10, came from the West. You see what I'm saying? They came from the West over there. So, you know, yeah, it's still a lot of, you know, but when you see this video, it's when I show you this video, it's kind of like, okay, how did that happen? If there's no Mongolian, you know what I'm saying? How did that happen? So when you see this video, I'm going to post, it's going to be a little interesting. All right, y'all. So hopefully I got that cleared up. You can't use me as the plebiscite babble. No, you ain't gonna be able to do that. So that's a footnote, and I wanted to do it public, so somebody could come back to the archive and say, all right, this is where his mindset is, and this is where I got this stuff. These are some of the links for me to form that opinion. You could go straight on to the footnotes, my website, see these Seminoles here, click on the footnotes, you know, and that's where I got that from. So, you know, and like I said, that was in my second book. I think there might have been a couple different corrections or whatnot, but this was in my second book. This was in my second book when I first came in, and you know, also, you know, you could look at it on Amazon as well. So, all right, y'all. So, like I said, we gonna get the Ninja Turtles dissection in a minute, and I think I'm gonna go ahead, if anybody's interested in hearing that, you know, how I kind of got into tech, that I'm gonna redo the playlist, and it's gonna be called The Adventures of DP or whatnot, and I'm gonna do a new playlist, so I'll link that together too. So see y'all in a minute.
That to me is a Negroid face that has all the features you associate with a Negroid face. The proportions of the face, it doesn't say anything about it being Mongoloid.
Luthia belongs to a race found historically along the rim of the Indian Ocean, in East Africa, in the islands of South Asia, and in Australia and Melanesia. Was this then the face of a first American? Her reconstruction is confirmed by measurements Walter Nevis has taken of all his skulls.
The first reaction was not to believe in it. But as the results, you know, repeated so many times, and the result is exactly the same thing. They are very similar to nowadays Aborigines and Africans, and no similarity at all with Mongoloids in Asia or with American Indians.
I'm not quite sure how it came to me, but I do know there was a list of actors that Mr. Wolper had. Didn't know who was playing what. James Earl Jones, Maya Angelou, Cicely Tyson, Raymond St. Jacques, O.J. Simpson. All of us, John Amos, we all were the list of actors to choose. Then there was a task of trying to cast this all. So I'm chosen to do Fiddler, which made me very angry.
Why?
Because that's the Uncle Tom. I mean, there's James Earl Jones playing his father. There's Jack Crowder, you know, play either as his father or the chief of the tribe. There's all kinds of wonderful parts. Why choose me to play the Uncle Tom? I took it personally until I accepted it and started doing the research. And I realized there's no such thing as an Uncle Tom. And those particular people, those stepping fetchets, those particular people, if they had not survived, I wouldn't be sitting here.
You learned a lot about Stephen Fetchit.
There was no such thing as
Yeah.
an Uncle Tom.
Yeah. And he had an interesting story that you talked about.
Well, yeah. They had no money. So they gave the people like Mary Pickford and Charlie Chaplin and Will Rogers land, property. You know what Will Rogers State Beach is, you know. All those places were given to these top stars. Satchel Paige, oh no, Satchel Paige. Stephen Fetchit had the property from the Adams Hotel all the way to the LA Arena. And he lived next door to Charlie Chaplin and Mary Pickford. He had 2 phones. One was white, the other was red. He asked one phone, say, yeah, sir. And the red phone, he said, hello. He had 12 Asian servants. And he was living off the hog, trying to teach his son that you have to kind of play a game, just like Fiddler could, in order to survive. And maybe the next generation, you can make that better, make them more aware, and eventually we would be equal. That was his thing. So the Korean War comes, and he's doing Bend of a River with Walter Brennan. And his son came back from Korea with a mindset, shell-shocked. Was put into a psych ward in Bryant Park in Chicago, and he went bananas. But that Uncle Tom Otis, it came out and shot some people. It's the same day Stephen Fetchit heard that news. He was playing, yeah, so, in Bend of a River. That's why I wanted to do that movie. The bittersweet of the news.